Here we are again today in fantastic, photogenic Fantan Alley. How's that for an alliterative intro? And we're here to test the TTArtisan APS-C 23mm 1.8 lens, and we have it attached to the Nikon Z50II. And I think it looks great cosmetically, and I hope to show functionally. So 23mm on APS-C results in equivalent of 35mm. And I have to say that I became a convert to 23mm when I bought a Fuji Expo 2 and a 23mm 1.4 lens, and I loved that lens. I was really impressed. And so I'm really happy to have the same kind of thing here in this TTArtisan lens. And 35mm, to my mind, is the perfect street shooting lens. But before we go forward to test this lens in the real world, let's jump back in time to my studio to examine some of the more pedestrian specs of this lens. And if that doesn't interest you, you can jump forward. But I'll see you back here in Fantan Alley in just a few moments. Out of the box, and I'll say here, as a packaging connoisseur, that I like this box. Maybe not as much as some of the earlier boxes, but this is nicely designed. It comes with a basic instruction manual and the lens itself. Attractive, even better than the box. First, this is a metal lens body, 5052 aviation grade aluminum. This is something I always appreciate with TTArtisan lenses. The build quality is always confidence inspiring. I should mention, this is a much lighter than, say, the manual focus 50mm f/0.95, which is built like a tank, weighing almost half a kilo, 18 ounces. This little 23mm comes in at half that weight, just 262 grams, 9.2 ounces, with caps and hood. And there's a reversible plastic hood included. Firm fit without being too tight. Filter thread is 52mm, same as the number of vintage lenses I own, as well as the recent retro lenses from Nikon, like the Z-mount 40mm f2 and the 28mm f2.8. As mentioned, this is a fairly wide aperture, 1.8, closes down to f16. Minimum focus distance is 0.3 meters, just shy of 1 foot. About the rear tap, I'll say the same as I did with the TTArtisan APS-C 56mm f1.8. I'm not a big fan of this solution for firmware updates that has the USB-C port in the rear lens tap with contacts inside. Now I can see the rationale. That eliminates the port from the lens itself, usually located next to the mount, where it might be a likely conduit for moisture, especially with a lens like this that doesn't include a weather seal. Mind you, I've used the lens in some pretty wet weather without apparent harm. But what if you lose this tap? Luckily, there's an easy solution which I use with the aforementioned 56mm lens. Store this included tap and use another Z-mount tap, assuming you have one. As we've seen, updates are performed via USB-C and this rear lens tap. With a Windows system, Windows 10 would be better, TTArtisan says. Now, I don't know why so many manufacturers of third-party lenses do not support MacOS for firmware updates. It's not like us Apple users are rare birds, 15 to 25% of the market, depending on region. I've asked the folks at TTArtisan about the lack of support for Mac, and they assure me that they are, quote, actively working on a solution for Mac users and hope to make it available as soon as possible, unquote. That's good news. We have an STM motor for quiet and fast autofocus. Take it from me, this lens never missed a beat on the street, always fast and accurate. Okay, So I'll hand you back to our intrepid real-world test director. So, how did you like those specs? But, as I promised, we're going to do some real-world shooting with this lens here in Fantan Alley. But, before I go, can I ask you a favor? If you're not subscribed, please do consider it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss more videos from me. And give this one a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. So, let's go shoot. This is not weather sealed, so I came prepared, but let's keep things dry as we can. I hope you enjoyed this look at the autofocus APS-C TTArtisan 23mm f1.8 lens. It represents 2 months of testing and field use. Thanks to TTArtisan for sending the lens along for review. This isn't a sponsored video, despite my adherence to YouTube's guidelines that requires the disclosure of any benefit accepted in the creation of a video. I'll drop links to purchase options in the description. If you buy via those links, I may receive a small commission at no extra cost to you, but it does keep this channel viable. As I said, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, give it a thumbs up, and if this is your first visit to my channel, please do consider subscribing. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss more content from me. In the meantime, take care, cheers, we'll see you later.